Hey, I'm Rigger. This is You Alright, and you're probably thinking, what is this? This is ridiculous. And you're correct, because this is Crack Theories. On my channel, when I talk about writing, I usually make a strong effort to be all well thought out and accurate as possible. I usually wouldn't put out a theory unless I have faith in it. However, that's cutting myself out from some of the more fun side of prediction. So instead, I decide I'm going to openly label them. This is Crack Theories, where the crazy is possible, where I pitch to you the wacky and strange theories that probably won't happen, but just in case someone was handing around something funny in the writer's room that day, I can say I told you so. In theory, these videos should be shorter, easier for me to get out in a timely fashion, and this is the first one. Salem's lamp is a fake. Okay, I know how that sounds, but that's why I'm making this video now, because there's a good chance I'm proven immediately wrong. But it's not like there's zero evidence for this, so I'll quickly run it down. Tell me what you think. Now, I openly admit that some of this will be harder to get across in my style of presentation with these stills, so if you don't believe me, you can go check the video footage for yourself, but I promise I'm not lying to you. But what I need to get across to you is that the lamp is acting weird. Let me explain. Okay, so this really only takes place from when Neo takes the lamp from Oscar. I have no doubt that's the real lamp. Oscar wasn't carrying a fake. His panic is very real. So from there, we know it's real here. Then we see Neo present it to Cinder, and look, it's floating, it's magical, should be real. Then Cinder snatches it, and we end. Outside of that, the only sight we get of the lamp is in Salem's hands in the trailer, and noticeably, it's not acting correctly. First off, and this is a minor one, but I will mention it, it doesn't pulse blue, it's flat. Now, this detail is often forgotten about and not added, like when Ruby hands the lamp to Oscar here, and just generally when it's on their hip. That's fine. It would be a nightmare, I'm sure, to put that effect in constantly. But usually when it's in a dark place, like here in Ironwood's office, they use it to show off the lamp to remind you it's magical. Now look at it in Salem's hands. It's in a nice, dark location, it's spooky, she has pale features, it would look creepy, and they didn't add a glow. Just interesting. Obviously that's nothing conclusive, it could just, be a mistake, or they didn't want to, or it didn't look right, but I'm putting it out there as the first little point, but there are more. Because second, and it's the thing that caught my eye initially, it doesn't act right in regards to when it grows. Now, obviously, it's a magical item, you can just say it does what it wants, but there are a few consistent things it's actually done across multiple volumes, and it doesn't do it in 2 shots, and it's quite interesting. So, if it's on your belt, or if you're cradling it in your hands, holding it up, it stays small. It's always done that. But if you hold it by the ring, and hold it out and present it, it grows. It's done this every single time someone has held it that way. In case you think I'm lying to you, the first time we see it being held is by the ring, and Yang is doing it, and it's large. Then, Oscar pulls it off his hip at the beginning flashback in Volume 6, and it immediately grows large. Then, Ironwood takes it out of his drawer, where it's small, and as soon as he holds it like that, it goes large. It doesn't just do this growth out of nowhere, it happens very quickly and almost immediately. Now, you might say, well, it's getting ready in case you want to ask it a question. However, it doesn't have to be large to ask it a question. Both times Ruby has talked to Jin, it wasn't grown beforehand. The first time she was cradling it in her hands, and then when she spoke the words, it floated off, grew by itself, then let out Jin. The second time, it came off her hip and did it herself again, and we didn't even see it on screen. So it doesn't have to grow before you can call it. It will grow after you call it, if need be. And it didn't grow in Ruby's hands because she was cradling it, not holding it out by the ring. And when Ironwood hands it off to Ruby and it shrinks again, it's because she immediately puts it to her belt, she's putting it away. Which means that the real one grows large every time it's been held by the ring. Across 3 volumes, it's always been large if you do that. However, at the end of 7, there are 2 times where this doesn't occur. Neo presents it, and she's holding it from underneath, cradling it, magically cradling it as it floats. Then Cinder snatches it and walks away, holding it by the ring, and it doesn't start to grow. Now that's a very brief moment, they might have just not added the effect, it's on screen for like less than a second. So that's fine, I'll give that one a pass. But then, look at the trailer. When Salem holds the lamp out for the Grimm to sniff, it doesn't change size. Now again, it doesn't have to be large to ask it a question, and it doesn't anticipate you asking it a question because it's grown when no one's needed to talk to it before. Every time someone holds it out by the ring, it grows, and here, she holds it out by the ring for several long moments while she talks, and nothing changes. This has never happened before, ever. I checked. Now, you might be saying, wouldn't Salem notice, like if it was a fake? Well, no. She's never held the relics. She has very little knowledge about their behavior. She might know a little bit. She picked up what Oz told her, which we skipped over, but probably what they exist, and at that point Oz had seen their shapes. She's probably gathered intel over the centuries and would know probably their general appearance and maybe what some of them can do, because she knows that the lamp is for asking questions. But their specific behavior, how they act in her hands, what they would feel like, what they would completely look like, are probably complete mysteries to her as well. Meaning that she might not notice slight inconsistencies like this. But the biggest thing that leads me to this conclusion is who snatched it. Neo. Because how do you fake a magic floating lamp? If only there was a master of physical illusions around. Yeah, I see you, Neo. Let's be clear. Everyone knows Neo hates Cinder. She was reluctant to even take the mission. We were all expecting a betrayal. So, why give her a real lamp? Why would this woman give Cinder what she wants when she could easily swap it out? She knows it's valuable, and she needs to know what it looks like, but it's a powerful item. Why not keep it for yourself? Even if you don't know how to use it. You know Cinder wants it, and you don't want Cinder to get what she wants because you don't like her. Now, let's look at the facts. After she snatches the lamp, Neo has an unspecified amount of time with it. It's not a lot of time for sure, it's not like days, because we see at the end of that fight, but it's a small amount of time. In that time, she can learn what it looks like, how it behaves, what it feels like, and make a copy. Because I put to you, how do you know that this lamp that she's holding out is real? Because it's floating? How do you know that Neo's illusions can't float? Because all of them touch the ground like people? But all the ones we've seen were supposed to touch the ground and look like people. So if she could make them appear in the air, it would ruin the illusion of it. But if you're trying to make something look like it's floating, who's to say she can't do that? Now, this is where we get to some inconsistencies, because the specifics of how Neo's power works have always been vague. Does she make entire illusionary copies, like people that aren't even there, that fight, and then they shatter and she's really somewhere else? Or can she, shatter teleport? Because early on, it looks like that's what she does, and she does it later too, where she'll shatter into pieces and move. However, people have speculated that sometimes these illusions aren't there at all. Like when Cinder is in the bar, when she's fighting this Neo that is perfectly well dressed and looks fine, I've heard people speculate that these are complete, full illusions and it's not her coding herself in a new image, and that she's actually outside. That the hat and the clothes are what she really looks like and she wasn't hiding them under an illusion, she wasn't there at all. So she only appears to teleport. Now, I actually don't agree with that. I think she has made herself look certain ways and she has the ability to shatter teleport. But, I don't know. They haven't confirmed either way. And if she can make full remote illusions that have physicality, that can fight, then who's to say she can't make objects? Because these illusions don't break immediately. If she gets hit really hard, they break. But in general, they can fight. Whether she's coded herself in an illusion or not, she takes minor glancing hits here, and her style means that she doesn't take many hits, but they can be touched. They are physical. They block. They make contact. So if she can make a physical illusion that can withstand minor touch and feel like a person, why not make a tiny lamp that feels like the lamp and can survive being interacted with? Because you hear it clinking, you hear it move. You see when Salem holds it up and cradles it, that she's touching it and it doesn't break or anything. But if Neo's illusions can hold up to blocking a punch from Cinder, they can surely hold up to Salem touching it like a normal person. And I will remind you that a running theme of the last season, and something mentioned about Neo in the past, is that they're getting stronger and semblances evolve. Cinder makes that comment herself, that Neo's gotten stronger, nice trick, all of that. Neo then demonstrates a huge amount of power when she completely changes the look of this airship. Now in that case she had to be touching it, or at least she seemed to. But that's a huge, massive illusion with a lot of strength in it. This is just a tiny little lamp. She might not need to remain touching it. Or she may have simply evolved past the point of needing to, getting a remote ability to her illusions. These are all things we can't prove are untrue, so there's a chance. And we've seen Neo bust out multiple illusions very quickly, multiple changes to her appearance and shattered teleports, and never once have we seen her get close to breaking her aura or running out. So I have no problem saying that she can maintain this one small illusion without it sapping her aura past the point she can't recharge. So, as long as she isn't pushed to her limit and her aura doesn't get broken, there's no way to prove this lamp isn't a fake until Jin pops out of it or someone smashes it on the floor for some reason. Because even, counter to my own point, if it does glow blue and it does grow and shrink in her hands, these could all still be an advanced illusion. Yeah, it'd be incredibly impressive, but that doesn't mean impossible. But I do have one more point about why this might be a thing, and it's nothing to do with anyone in the show, it's how the show is made. This show likes long-running twists. It's done it at least twice. All of Season 5 was a big, long maiden twist. All of Season 3 was presented as a tournament arc. Turned out the tournament wasn't important to the arc at all except to get them on TV. It makes you believe one thing and pulls the rug out from you at the end. Now, it's been enough time since Season 5 that no one's looking out for another one. The writers of this show, or really any show, but this show in particular, would really like to literally dangle the answer in front of your face, to have the twist on screen as much as possible without you realizing it. Imagine if people fight, bleed, and die to get this lamp, only for it to be fake all along. Then it gets to a climactic scene where people are wrestling over it and fighting and trying to get it from each other, and it hits the ground and shatters, and the real one is gone. It was all for nothing. We all expect Neo to betray Cinder, but who says it's a stab in the back? It could be a lie, right to her face. Now there is one other thing I'll say that's a flaw in this. The scent. Salem is presenting the lamp to get Asuka's scent, and I don't think Neo could have anticipated that was going to happen, or fake it. So, at that point, that's a rule against it. But nothing says this scent trick works. This could be a long con misdirect, and I'll explain how. So in the trailer we see her present the lamp to the Grim sniffs it and snarls. So we think, okay, it's got the scent. Then, throughout the whole show, you can see Asuka being attacked by Grim for the whole season and assuming, well, the Grim's on his tail, they want him. But, as long as that Grim doesn't actually grab specifically him and take him back, there's no proof that this scent thing is working. It could be an attempt, but by that logic it could also go after Neo, her scent's on that lamp. But, if there is no scent there and it's not really working off anything, the Grim attacking them could just be Grim. And say, Tyrion is the one that kidnaps Asuka in the end and brings him. So you're under the impression the Grim have been trying to get him this whole time, but they haven't. They've just been being Grim, and he ends up getting kidnapped anyway, but not by a Grim. This allows your brain to fill in the gaps and assume it's still real up to that point, because nothing's proven otherwise, and you're just filling it in yourself. But the plot would never have actually shown that the scent hunting thing was successful. It's just the result was. The devil could be in the details, once again. But, you know, probably not. It's just an idea. Anyway, so that's my first crack theory. That lamp is a forgery created by the resident master of physical illusions. Not only is it acting weird, but even if it acts correctly, there's still little way to test if it's real or not. We shall see. Thank you so much for indulging my madness. If you like this, there's a button for that. If you have anything to share, please put it down in the comments. If you know anyone who'd like this, please share it around with them and subscribe for more. I do have more crack theories coming. That being said, my name is Rigger, this is You Alright, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope I did alright.